Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Chem Science. Today we will be studying the electrochemistry. Okay, not only the electrochemistry, the core of the electrochemistry we will be studying today. And in the subsequent lectures, we will be studying the advanced level of chemistry. I mean the electrochemistry of this chapter. This chapter is divided into three parts, as we all know. First part is obviously the cell, and the second part is electrolysis, and third part is conductance. So first of all, we'll be covering cell right from the basic to advanced. We will be studying in comprehensive way. The students who are preparing for the board exams, or the student who are preparing for NEET, JEE mains and advanced, this is absolutely essential. This is one of the most important topic, because this chapter has a lot of application from chemical equilibrium, from ionic equilibrium, from thermodynamics. But don't worry about the thing that you have forgotten or you have a weak concept of chemical, ionic or thermodynamics. Wherever the applicability of the topic comes, we will be revising those concepts right from the basics. Okay, even if you have forgotten or you don't remember of, or the concept is not crystal clear, still there is no problem at all in understanding, because when the topic intermixing of the topic comes, we will be taking that topic as well. Okay, so let's give it a go. So I would expect, and rather I would recommend that you should subscribe and share this channel among your friends. Please don't forget to press the bell icon. Please subscribe and share among your friends. All of the student will be getting a lot of benefit, because we won't be studying in a classroom. We will be studying in a classroom, as well as, for example, one of your friend is sitting beside you and teaching you about few topics. This happens generally. For example, you are studying in a class and you did not get any topic, you did not understand a concept, and after the class one of your friend comes to you and you ask him that, oh come on gentlemen, please help me understand this topic, and he explains you and you understand, wow man, you have taught me in very awesome manner. So that is the way. Not only that is the way, we will be taking the analytical path, so that we can solve the question very easily. That is the main point. After reading, we can easily solve the question. So we should not study in a theoretical way, we should study in a comprehensive, subjective and analytical manner, so that we may enjoy the topic. We must enjoy the topic. I mean, in a very scientific manner, in a very analytical manner, we will be studying. Okay, so let's start it. So electrochemistry, obviously electrochemistry is nothing but it is a study of conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy and chemical energy into electrical energy in detail. That I should repeat it again, that is the study of conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy, or the chemical energy into the electrical energy. So first of all, we will study, because we are studying the cell, so first of all we will introduce the electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is divided into two parts. This is part number 1 and this is part number 2. Electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell is associated with electrolysis. Obviously this is another topic. Electrolysis is another topic, so we will be taking electrolysis at a later stage. The spelling has been gone wrong. Electrolysis from here. Electrolysis. We will be taking this topic at a later stage. This is topic number 2. We are studying topic number 1, that is electrochemical cell. So first of all, we are introducing galvanic cell. This is also called voltaic cell. This cell has 3 components. Okay, we will be discussing those 3 components at a later stage. I'm not sure whether these 3 components written is coming onto your screen or not, but we'll be discussing these 3 components in detail. So whether it is coming onto the screen or not, it's no big deal, we'll be taking. So now let us go to the analytical definition, as we have talked about it, that we'll be discussing it in the very analytical way. Now first of all, we will introduce delta G. What is delta G? Gibbs free energy change. What is Gibbs free energy change? Let us say there is a process, for example, water is falling from a hill to downside. It will automatically fall. If the water is on the hill, it will come downside, okay, without any energy, without any external requirement, external force or energy. The water, this is called spontaneous process. So every spontaneous process has Gibbs free energy change less than 0. You know it very well, isn't it? Even if you have forgotten, you know it. Now you know it, isn't it? Delta G less than 0 means process is spontaneous. It will happen automatically by itself. If delta G is greater than 0, we have to give some energy, we have to apply some force in order to make the process happen, in order to make the reaction happen. So delta G, Gibbs free energy change. G is Gibbs free energy, delta G is Gibbs free energy change. So EF minus EI, here we have written EF minus EI, as you can see here. What is EF? EF is the electrical energy. And what is EI? Chemical energy. So initially there is the chemical energy. By some process it is converted into electrical energy. And EF less than EI, that is, let us say electrical energy which is produced is X joules. And let us say Y joule is the energy which was present initially, chemical energy. So X less than Y, that is electrical energy is less than chemical energy. That's why it is negative EF minus EI, final minus initial, that is delta G, which is less than 0. So delta G must be negative, and that EF minus EI is nothing but it is energy loss. It is what? Energy loss, and that is energy loss is Gibbs free energy. That was the free energy that has been lost in the process. So decrease in free energy, or you can say Gibbs free energy change. Either you say decrease in free energy or you say Gibbs free energy change. Decrease of free energy, or you say Gibbs free energy change. Whatever you want to say, you can say it. Everybody understands that? So Gibbs free energy change during an indirect redox, reaction is made to convert chemical energy into electrical energy. This is the chemical energy and this is obviously the electrical energy. So that is electrical energy minus chemical energy equal to Gibbs free energy. That comes out to be negative. It means we are talking about the production and the process of an electrochemical cell. This is the fundamental thing. If this does not happen, that is not a galvanic or voltaic cell. We'll talk about Daniel later on. That is the special case of galvanic or voltaic. So that is not the. So what is the specificity? What is the specific thing about the galvanic cell or the voltaic cell? That is EF minus EI, electrical minus chemical energy equal to delta G, which must be negative in the process. Okay. So the feature cathode anode we will be studying at a later stage. Let us come to a figure. This figure will tell us all about the things. We are moving the screen. Lot of content is written. We don't need to worry about it. Right from the diagram we will understand all the things. Okay, everybody understands that? So this is a galvanic cell as is written over here, right? So there are two half cells. First half cell, this is called right half cell, RHC. This is called left half cell, LHC. There is solution, isn't it? Let me change the color so that you see it better. There is one. At the anode there is one copper electrode. There is the solution. Solution has the same cation. Let me change the color again so that you see better. Solution has the same cation. Which same cation? As that of the metal atom. If the metal is copper, the cation must be Cu2 positive, same. If the metal is silver, its solution must contain silver ions. Different cations must not be present. Okay. Now you will be watching at NO3. Don't look at NO3 as of now. It is something different. Okay, first of all we are understanding step by step. Everybody understands that very well. So what we have studied, that cation must be same as that of the electrode. So this is left half shell, this is right half shell. Always on the left there must be a name which is called anode. Always on the left hand side there must be a name which is called anode. This electrode is called anode. On the right hand side there must always be cathode. On anode always oxidation will occur. Oxidation means loss of electron. On cathode always reduction will occur, means gain of electron. If it is gaining electron, so this is the direction of movement of electron. Electrons are lost from anode moving towards cathode. Everybody understands that?